Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mother Mary monthly message for 5/5/2024. Wow. When I look back on all of the years that I've been doing this, it kind of blows my mind that I'm still here and you're still here. And of course, Mother Mary is always here. So my name's Tamara Grace, and I've been channeling Mother Mary for a long time. And it's been the joy of my life and the honor of my life to bring through her wisdom, her joy, her laughter, and sometimes her kick in the butt advice that she brings to us. So I'm so happy that you're joining either tonight or whenever you can have a chance to watch the recording. And I'm hoping that tonight brings you a little special boost, because I know for some of us it's been a little bit of a challenge this last couple of years with all the different changes and not sure what's happening in the economy and politics and wars and all of that. So that's my intention, is just to bring you the most absolutely loving message possible. So without further ado, let me just take a moment and bring you Mother Mary. So hello to everyone, and I thank you so much for joining in. Oh my goodness, it's been such a big change to come here to South Carolina with Samara and to be by the ocean and walking on the beach and seeing the children playing and the families laughing. It's been very rejuvenating, I know, for Samara, and kind of important. So I want to talk a little bit tonight about how do we shift. Sometimes you're looking out there and thinking, how can I make a difference in this world? And I want you to think about the frequency of the collective unconscious. Just think about that for just a moment. The frequency of the collective unconscious. In other words, all of the people that aren't listening tonight, that don't have their own spiritual practice, that aren't really working to be a clear, light-filled person in some way, the collective unconscious, meaning that people are still scared, people are still fearful, people are still, grabbing and worried and bombing and doing all of these things. And you think, I'm not like that. I don't really want to keep seeing that, but what could I do? How could I approach this in a loving way when, I don't know how to stop the war or stop people from having such anger and such unreasonableness, in the world. Well, the current trajectory of the collective unconscious is a little like a rolling stone that starts to gather more and more as it's coming down the hill and is getting larger and larger. And pretty soon it's like an avalanche, right? It's going to collectively perhaps harm a lot of people. And so that's the trajectory. Unconsciousness creates a trajectory as well as the current situation and chaos. And we don't want any of you to be at the bottom of the hill when it all comes down. So I want to just talk about how do you work with this understanding that there is such a thing as a collective unconscious. It's all of the people who are still functioning from fear and functioning from not enough and functioning from basically a more primal place in themselves than someone who is conscious, right? It's a different frequency. So first of all, to just understand that and to realize no one is doing it, sort of from a completely evil point of view. It's just this collective unconsciousness that then larger and larger and larger. So in order to make a difference, the first thing you have to do is realize the good news is you have chosen a different frequency. Yay, you are not functioning from the collective unconscious frequency. You are functioning from a higher level, a consciousness that you are a part of a beautiful universe. You have a role to play. You have plenty of connection with God, universe, me, your angels, etc. And you have every right to have a beautiful, prosperous, and safe life. You do, okay? So we have this snowball coming down the hill about to be an avalanche, and we have you sort of sitting there in the lotus position saying, Om, you know. And how do we stay in that place and still hopefully affect the frequency that is currently in that destructive mode? Ha, okay. So understanding that you are where you are in the frequency of enlightenment, on the way to enlightenment, being enlightened, being more light, right? More light filled, and that there is such a thing as the collective unconscious. So you begin to understand that the very first thing you can do is realize that. Make your peace with that. That is what's currently going on. You're not crazy. It is going on. Secondly, and this is the important part, feed your frequency. Feed your frequency. Nature, great food, laughter, music, Reiki, anything and everything that has to do with bringing your energy and your frequency up. Feed your frequency. If you don't feed your frequency, that avalanche could envelop you. So that is really such an important concept for so many of you that are so tuned in to being helpful to other people, concerned about the welfare of other people, always doing so many wonderful acts of kindness. And we don't want you to stop that. But what we're saying is the first thing you have to do is feed your frequency. Because once you've done that, once you're sort of full of your own frequency of light, now you really can be a positive effect on the collective unconscious. Without it, you will just very soon be depleted by such a large avalanche in the world. So you feed your frequency. Tonight, as we're joining together, I see some wonderful faces that I've known for a long time and some new ones, and I'm delighted to have you here along with anyone who listens later on. You feed your frequency by doing things that help you feel joyous, that help you feel your own light, that bring a smile to your face, that help your body to be thriving and happy. So feed your frequency. Back in the early days of Samara's hippie days, they used to say, feed your head, you know. But I like to say, feed your frequency, because your head is important, but really it's your frequency that determines how you will be able to navigate and stay resilient in the current climate that we're in. Okay, so feed your frequency. The next thing is, so many of you have, you're sort of trained to wake up with your to-do list, right? Oh my goodness, today I have to, you know, do the laundry, and I have to go grocery shopping, and I have to do this and do that and do that. When you wake up with that and make that your first or second priority, what you're doing is you are already diminishing your frequency. You're already diminishing your frequency, because what you've done is you have given the head, your mind, your little to-do list, the top priority. So what I'm going to suggest is a little revolutionary, not so much for all of you, but for some of you. And that's start with feeding your frequency, and then do, as part of that, your to-be list. Your to-be list. And that begins by, very simply, two of the first words are I am. And now you decide, how do I want to operate today? Because it could change, or could change even several times in the day. I am a bringer of the light. Wow. I am a bringer of the light. So now, when you do get to your to-do list, everything that you're doing brings that beingness with it. So if you're at the grocery store, you realize, I'm a bringer of the light. So you see someone and you smile at them, or you compliment them, or, you know, whatever feels right. So you're making your being, the choices of your being, to be the most vital and important aspect of your programming for yourself. So the unconscious is programmed through fear. oh my God, what's going to happen? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? So your programming is from love, of course, but the love also has to have sort of a directive. On Star Trek, it was, do whatever, don't interfere. But in a funny way, we want you to interfere, but not in a manipulative way, in a frequency transmission. So there you are in the grocery store, and you've decided, today I am a bringer of the light. Wow. So whether you're picking avocados or bringing things off the shelf or whatever you're doing, that frequency of I am a bringer of the light is actually happening through your body, through your choices, through everything that you're doing, as well as anyone that you speak to. So you're already taking that grocery store and raising its frequency by your choice to be that bringer of the light. Now, of course, you can add to that any number of other things that feel right to you. Today, I'm a peacemaker. Today, I am a joyful, hope-filled person who brings hope to everyone. I mean, it's vastly creative, however you want to do that. But the most important thing that I'm telling you is that once you have fed your frequency, give it a directive. I am. I am. Recently, in a Reiki class in Ohio, they had a saying that they were doing every day, which is, I am the light I came to bring. How lovely is that? I am the light I came to bring. And then, whatever rolls from that is wonderful. Because all over your universe right now, there are beautiful, wonderful light workers of every shape, size, country, religion, etc. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And so their work is already making a difference in the shifting of the collective unconscious. It's already doing that. By joining as we are tonight and with the other groups that you all belong to, and realizing, if I have fed my frequency and raised myself into a consciousness of being a light, and now I give myself the permission and the command, if you will, to say and be, I am a bringer of the light. There is a transmission also into the ethers. So now you start to meet by chance, the other people who are also bringers of the light. You just do. You see each other in the grocery store, or you see each other in Egypt or wherever you've just been. And all of a sudden you're like, I like to get to know you more, or even just a hug or a smile. It all depends. So in order to have the creations that all of you would like to see on Earth, peace, the economy changing so people can have enough to eat, shelter for everyone, all the things that I know all of you have in your hearts, realize that there is sort of several interim steps before that can land safely. Because if the avalanche is coming down the hill, that's not where you want to build something. So the first thing that is important to do is to stop the avalanche. And the avalanche is just the collective unconscious fear feeding on itself. And so by taking this sort of walk of love, by having your to-be list before you worry about your to-do list, now what you've done is you've fed your frequency and you've taken it into the world as a bringer of light and hope and love and all that. Still, in your hearts and minds, I know there's a dream for more. I know that. A dream that, cancer won't happen. A dream that people will smile and be happy and love each other. A dream that, education will actually educate. All of the healthcare will actually bring health. You know, I know that you hold all those dreams. And the answers are coming. They're coming. But they come from sort of this antidote to the collective unconscious. And that's going to be the collective consciousness. The collective consciousness. And that's built from all of you who are choosing and deciding, I am a bringer of the light, for instance, right? Because when you do that, and now you do your day in whatever way your day is to be, you begin to interact, intersect, and intermingle with other people like you that are also the bringers of the light, whether or not they're in the same field, whether or not they have the same dream, that part doesn't matter yet. But what we need are so many of you to recognize that there are all of these bringers of the light. And it's okay to be courageous when you see someone like that and say, I'd like to get to know you a little better. Not because you want their money or their fame or their shoes or whatever, but because you sense something here. So it's a little like a tapestry. We need all of these beautiful threads to be woven together in a way that creates a stability that can withstand and shift the collective unconscious to be the collective conscious, the collective consciousness. Along with that, I think there are several things that I just want to sort of emphasize. And one of them is tenderness. You might think, tenderness? Well, if you think about the world right now, there's not a great deal of tenderness. It's still sort of working through this idea of being strong and independent and, you know, I'm tough and all that. And that has its place. But it takes a certain level of honesty and tenderness to help people shed the armor that they have been wearing for centuries. And why do I say centuries? I know nobody here is yet 100 years old. I say centuries because in your cellular memories are all of the misdeeds and all of the atrocities that have happened as a universal experience to people from every background and culture and religion. So you carry that. So when you do meet other people, you know, there's this chance to be tender with them and to allow that sort of honesty to build a framework within which you can let go of some of your armor and they can let go of some of theirs. And that creates a chance to really join energetically so that all of these other wonderful projects can blossom and occur. So tenderness and honesty. The other thing I want you all to do is to, after you've fed your frequency, done your, I am a bringer of the light. Today I build my dream. Today I build my dream. Whatever that is, whatever that looks like, today I build my dream. It might be, you know, Samara started to work on her next book. It might be writing one sentence or two or a chapter, who knows? Today I build my dream. It might be learning a new skill that you perhaps thought about and never done, you know? Samara wants to go kayaking. She's never been. And she has a friend, Jill, who's her cousin and has done it a lot. And there's kayaks everywhere here, but she's a little afraid. So what do I mean by your dream? It means the place in your heart in which you feel not only the age that you are, but you feel the child within coming to life, coming to life. So there's this wisdom of whatever age you are right now. And there's this childlike wonder and enthusiasm and curiosity and adventuresomeness. And so that's another part of how you can shift the collective unconscious, which is so full of nightmares rather than dreams. And so this is part of how you can begin. And I know some of you are already doing some of these things, but I really want to focus on how every day you can fill yourself, feed your frequency, choose the trajectory that you're operating from, and build your dream. So now, as you're operating and as you're meeting some of these other wonderful people, when it's appropriate, when you feel it, you can say, my dream is, and today I, whatever, right? Because the world that you all aspire to and are working so hard to create, it exists already, just not to the extent physically in this realm that you would like to see, but it does exist. And each day that you make the choices that make you happy, that fill your frequency and allow you to be that bringer of the light, another part of that mosaic of the dream is built. Is it easy? I would say it's simple, but not easy. It's simple. Everything I've said to you is very simple. But what's not easy about it is combating or dealing with. I don't want to do combating. Noticing and reflecting upon and healing the wounds of the past, the karma perhaps that you have from generations before you, the stories that you were told about what is this and what is that, that are really not true, but are still sort of lingering in your mind. So it's simple. And I really, really hope that you can trust me enough to try it. Much of what will come in this endeavor that you're all in is a level of joy and a level of healing that you may not have known up until now. And you all deserve that completely, a level of joy and a level of healing. Because it's a little like armor is sort of like, if you think about, I don't know, an onion, right? You get rid of the first part, you think, oh, wow, that was rough. That was what my mother did or my father did. And then you think, well, wait a minute, why is there still something here? Well, that's what my grandfather and my grandmother did to my mother and my father that then made them do that to me. Oh my goodness, well, I got rid of that. And then you get to the third level, you're like, oh no, really, 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 really. Yes, yes. So shedding this armor takes some time, but the remedies are what I have shared with you. To feed your frequency with what brings you joy, to recognize each other and to play together, if you will, and to give your whole way of being an instruction, such as, I am a bringer of the light. And when you do that, now what you discover is that the small challenges of life, this didn't happen or that did happen or whatever, it's a little like being in a boat on a little bit of a rough sea. You compensate, you build resilience with that. And so, yes, there will still be some collective unconscious. Yes, there will still be people be making tirades about this or that because that's all they know at this point. But you will not have to react to that. You will not have to be taken off course by that because you will have found the steadiness of being the captain of your boat and being on the direction and with the tools that really, truly you all have. So feed your frequency. Create your to-be list. Bring that to your to-do list. Meet other people and be that blessing, sharing your dreams and living with that. The last thing I want to sort of leave you with tonight is also very, very important, and that's your relationship with nature. There's an incredible healing potential that is not even this much being used or dealt with. Nature, all of nature, the water, the woods, the trees, the flowers, the shrubs, the animals, all of it can also be part of filling and feeding your frequency. Time in nature is an extraordinary gift that you can choose to give to yourself, whether you go alone or with friends, whatever you do. But again, let it have an intention. Oh my goodness, here goes another part of the equation, the intention to love and be loved, to nurture and be nurtured back. All of you have beauty around you, beauty in every sort of capacity. So it's just understanding that intention, conscious intention, again, creates that transmission that is so special and important and allows you to receive back that which nature would offer to you. So those are my words of wisdom for tonight. And I love you all for being the lights that you came to be, for trusting and keeping on and keeping on and keeping on. And we're almost there. We really are. In a world in which we become the majority. Consciousness becomes the majority. Because we already know being unconscious really doesn't serve anybody. It just makes a mess. So, with all my heart, I send you my love and my blessing. And now, since I want it on the recording, let's take a moment for all of you to just fill and feed your frequency with the love I have for you, with the love I have for all beings everywhere. And wherever you are, just know you are loved, you are seen, you are felt, and you matter. Do not be afraid. We are here and we are with you. Namaste. Namaste. Namaste.